What's going on, people? Ross out here in Singapore. Thank you so much for joining me on the Night Out podcast, you guys. I really love this platform. I can't tell you how much this has become such a part of my life, such a part of my day. I had a conversation with a friend of mine, right? And he was talking about, you should journal, you should write down all of your thoughts. So one day it'd be really awesome for your daughter to go back and read the thoughts that you had, knowing that you probably had the same thought process or the same ideas that she is having right now as she works through some of the crises in her life. And I was thinking, you know what, I do that though. I do it on the podcast. So I love this. I love what I'm doing. I'm happy with the process. And another thing that I realize is when I take a break, right? When I disappear for a little while and I don't really post much of anything in a while, it's usually because I'm trying to sort out my feelings. I don't want to say anything while I'm angry, right? But the point being that the longer I stay away from the podcast, the longer it takes for me to heal. And I didn't realize that until just then. I was sitting here going over the podcast episodes that I've done so far. I haven't released yet, so I'm over here uploading from my phone because I'm using my voice recorder. I upload to the computer because I use WhatsApp. I use WhatsApp Web, y'all. So what I do is I record on the voice recorder, I save it or send it to my WhatsApp on my phone, and then from WhatsApp Web on the computer, I pull it up, I download it, right? And then I convert it from an MP4 to an MP3. I don't know why it comes up as an MP4 every time I download it, but that's all good. Convert it to an MP3, and then from there add in the intro, upload it to the World Wide Web, and then it is there for your viewing pleasure, which is kind of cool. But the process of all of that, I was listening to some of the recordings to figure out what the caption should be, when you write the little blurb or whatever, what the episode is about. And I started thinking, I take a lot of time off because there's a lot of feelings to process. But what I don't realize is the next podcast episode I try to record, even if it's on a different subject, will pull me back to the crisis I'm actually handling at the moment. And I have no choice but to spew and vomit and, just work it out. So what I started thinking was, well, perhaps if this is what I have to do, then I have to find an angle from which to record the episode so that I process my pain, but I'm also not spewing out negativity. I'm not pointing fingers at people and cussing people out and telling people, telling the world that, they're not good enough or whatever. Because yeah, that's my initial thought process. When something happens and it hurts my feelings, I blame the world first. And then I realize, okay, well, takes two hands to clap. What was my part in this and how can I sort this out? So instead of staying away from the podcast, what I'm realizing now is it's part of my healing process. It's slowly beginning to be one of those things where I got to get on here. I got to say it out loud so I can figure out what it is that I'm actually dealing with. Is it something that I can work out on my own? Do I need a third party to kind of help me see what I'm not seeing? Do I need to talk to my brother and have him knock some sense into my head? Those are the things that I need to consider at the moment to see if I can actually process some of these things that I'm dealing with. So before, my go-to strategy was, leave the podcast alone because you're going to just be spewing a bunch of shit and it's going to hurt people's feelings. And then, you're going to get comments like, oh, were you talking about me? You know what I mean? So instead of that, what I figured is instead of staying away, because the longer I stay away, the more that feeling is pent up, the more that pain that I think I'm processing is not actually processed. It doesn't come out. And finally, there are so many lessons to be learned as I talk about those things. So just in the last couple of days, as I was going through these episodes and getting ready to load them up or whatever, I realized that it's better if I stay on the podcast. It's better if I don't take a break. It's better if I find an angle from which to actually write about all this stuff or speak about all this stuff, because I'm right there in the moment, and that's the best place to teach from. When I'm actually going through some stuff, when I'm actually dealing with, some traumatic experience or something that reminds me of something I really struggled through as a kid, and I get a chance to forgive myself. I get a chance to deal with the old stuff that I'd pushed aside back then because I didn't have the tools to work on the healing process, and now I do. So when it pops up again now, I can go back and be like, all right, well, all these things are linked, right? So if they're linked, I can actually forgive myself and actually process those emotions and remind myself that, hey, I have everything I possibly need to survive in this world. I just need to use the tools that I have. A lot of times we forget that we have, a monkey wrench, a ratcheting screwdriver, you have your mallets, your hammers, your nails, everything, and then you're saying, no, but I need a Black & Decker drill, blah, 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 because it's the newest thing out there and I really need that to get some stuff done. But that's not the case. I got everything I need. It's just I need a little torque that comes from my arm instead of a power drill. and I just need a little elbow grease. I could do it. So right now, what I'm realizing as I'm editing all of these these episodes is, yeah, that run away and hide strategy that I had while I lick my wounds and make myself feel better, self-soothe, if you will, doesn't really work in processing the pain. Because when I get back to come and do this podcast episodes, the pain's still there and it still wants to come out because I can hear it in my voice. There'll be times where I see this really great post and I'm like, "Oh my God, I got to sit down and talk about this." And in the course of recording, I suddenly start veering back towards whatever it is that I'm hurting about right now, and it comes out, but not the best way possible because I'm trying to avoid it still. So when I'm trying to avoid it and my spirit wants me to talk about it, you get kind of garbled shit. And what ends up happening is, see, I can't even talk right now, throat chakra blocked. What ends up happening is I end up quitting the podcast recording and dumping the entire thing. Where what I'm realizing now is I should go back and re-listen to it and see if there's another angle from which I can come at it and actually process. You see this? Like, what the heck? My voice. I need to process. I really do need to process all of that stuff. And maybe it is the platform that I'm using. I need to speak it out and let people know that I am still human. And while I do have a couple more tools than you might, it doesn't mean that I still don't get stumped on some problems, forgetting that I do have the tools in my toolkit, because I think I can wing it alone, or I think I can like muscle through it, you know? So yeah, I've been enjoying the process. It's been quite the revelation, and not the most fun one either, because I don't want people to know that I still struggle, but it's the truth. It really is the truth. And if I'm going to be transparent with you guys, and if I'm going to teach you guys how to wade through all of life's shit, I need to show you when I wade through it too. You know what I mean? So no pretense, no false, masks or anything. I'm just trying to work through all of this as much as I can and see if I can't teach you along the way, because yeah, it's a lesson for me as well. As a teacher, what you realize is when one person teaches, two people learn. Because I got to hear what comes out of my mouth too. I got to hear the things that I'm telling you guys too. And that's cathartic to me. So I don't know about you guys, but this has been helpful. And I hope that you find some relief knowing that as much as I do know, I still don't. And I'm still trying to figure it out as well. But whatever I can, whatever strategies I do have, I do want to share with you guys, because that's the point of knowledge in the first place, right? You hand it down, you share it, and hopefully this helps you guys, maybe one of you, find your way through a difficult situation, knowing that it's not all on your shoulders, and you have a choice about how you go about doing things. It doesn't have to be the way your parents did it. It doesn't have to be the way your grandparents did it. You can find your own path. And that's basically why I'm doing this in the first place, to teach you guys that whatever you feel is right in the moment is right in the moment. There's no ifs, ands, or buts to it. And if you try it and it doesn't work out, on hindsight what you could have changed. So I love you guys. I'll catch you again soon. And yeah, I hope this was helpful. Bye.